Hello everyone, we have finally received all the information about Kinich's kit, including his skills, burst, talents and constellations, along with his signature weapon stats, so without further ado, let's get started. But before that, the rerun banners of Navia and Nilu are now up on the servers, and if you want to pull for them but have run out of Primo gems, I have something you can definitely use. I've been using Loot Bar for over 10 months now, and it has saved me a lot of money. It's a great way to top up for games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, as it's cheap and 100% safe. If you're wondering how it works, Loot Bar offers the cheapest prices by leveraging favorable exchange rates. It is also in direct partnership with authorized top-up partners of Hoyoverse, therefore every top-up you do will be processed through Hoyoverse's routing channels, so check the link in the description or pinned comment to save up to 20% on your next top-up. Now let's move on to Kinich's kit. He is an upcoming Dendro 5-star unit who will be released in version 5.0, and he's a Claymore user and an on-field main DPS. He has a base HP of 12,858, a base attack of 332, and a crit damage of 88.4% at level 90. Moving on to his elemental skill, Kinich uses his hunting skills to either move swiftly or attack his opponents. When no opponents are nearby, he fires a grappling hook forward and swings in midair, and the skill's cooldown is decreased by 60%. When an opponent is present, he will fire the hook at the opponent and enter the Night Spirit state at 0 points. In combat, he can tap or hold to cast his skill for different functions. If you use the tap version, using a normal attack will perform a loop shot around the grapple target based on current movement direction, dealing Dendro damage with the Night Spirit attribute and generating 3 Night Spirit points. During the hold version, when Night Soul points are at max, he can use all Night Spirit points to deal Dendro damage with the Night Spirit attribute. While in Night Spirit's Blessing, Kinich will generate a dead zone beside an opponent he has grappled to or fired the cannon at. When he enters this zone, it will be cancelled, and Kinich will gain 4 Night Spirit points. The Night Spirit enhancement lasts for 10 seconds, providing points to the Night Spirit value which caps at 20. In this state, Kinich has enhanced normal attacks, performing rotating shots to deal Dendro damage, generating Night Spirit value, and it is considered elemental skill damage. When Night Spirit is capped, you can cast his elemental skill to launch bombs or shells at enemies, or hold the skill to select an enemy to link with them and release bombs. And when the link is broken, you can use his enhanced normal attacks to reattach to enemies. Moving on to his elemental burst, with a 70 energy cost, Kinich can cast his elemental burst to unleash his pet Aja's power, where Aja will periodically deal AoE Dendro damage, similar to Fischl's Oz. This lasts for 10 seconds with an 18-second cooldown, and he can extend the Night Spirit enhancement by 2 seconds by casting his burst. According to the source, the elemental burst is similar to Navia's, meaning Kinich can go off-field and the burst will still be active until the duration ends. Now for his talents. His first talent, when in Night Soul's Blessing, opponents hit by Kinich's elemental skill damage will enter the Desolation state, and when affected by burning or burgeon reaction damage, they will restore 7 Night Soul points to him. Night Soul points can be gained this way once every 0.8 seconds, and the Desolation state will persist until this instance of Kinich's Night Soul's Blessing ends. His second talent, when a nearby party member triggers a Night Soul burst, Kinich will gain 1 stack of Hunter's experience that lasts 15 seconds with a maximum of 2 stacks. When Kinich uses his skill, all stacks will be consumed, with each stack increasing the damage dealt by this cannon shot by 320% of his attack. His third talent, when Kinich is in the air, following his skill's mid-air swing, he can consume 10 spirit points to perform another mid-air swing. While in an area with a certain device within Natlan, he can use Night Spirit transmission. When the current active character is sprinting, in movement states that result from specific talents, or at a certain height in the air, switching to Kinich will trigger 3 effects. First, Kinich will fire a grappling hook and swing. Second, Kinich will prioritize valid coilgrass sigils as grapple targets, and third, he can use Night Spirit transmission once every 10 seconds. Now for his constellations. His C1, after Kinich lands from his skill's mid-air swing, his movement speed will be increased by 20% for 5 seconds. Additionally, Scale Spiker Cannon's crit damage is increased by 90%. His C2, When Kinich's elemental skill hits opponents, it will decrease their dendro resistance by 30% for 6 seconds. Additionally, the first cannon Kinich fires after entering Nightsoul's Blessing has an increased AoE, and its damage is increased by 100%. His C3 and C5 increase his skill and burst levels by 3, whereas his C4, when in Nightsoul's Blessing, Kinich will restore 5 energy after using his loop shots or after unleashing the Scalaspiker cannon. Energy regeneration can happen this way once every 2.8 seconds. And finally his C6, after the Scalaspiker cannon hits an opponent, it will bounce once, dealing 600% of Kinich's attack as dendro damage. Moving on to his signature weapon. His signature weapon has a base attack of 608 and a crit rate of 33.1% at level 90. As for its passive effect, the user gains 1 stack when an elemental skill hits an opponent and 3 stacks when anyone triggers burning or burgeon reactions. Each stack increases skill and burst damage by 10% up to 6 stacks, and each stack lasts for 6 seconds and is calculated independently. That's all the information we have about Kinich at the moment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more updates.